Bismillah, in this video I'm gonna solve Excel IGCSE Mathematics A June 2022 paper 1H. Number 1. Here are the first 5 terms of an arithmetic sequence. Find an expression in terms of n for the nth term of this sequence. 1, 5, 9, 13, 17. So the rule, add 4. So to find the nth term, because we add 4 each time, so 4n plus what or minus what, just one step to the back, so 1 minus 4, negative 3, so 4n minus 3. Or you can use the rule that the nth term equals a plus n minus 1 into d. A is the first term, which is 1. D is the common difference, which is 4. So n minus 1 into 4. Then expand. 4 times n equals 4n. 4 times negative 1, negative 4, and plus 1. So 4n minus 3. You get same answer. Moving on, the nth term of another arithmetic sequence is 3n plus 5. B. Find an expression in terms of m for the 2m's term of this sequence. So substitute n by 2m. So 3 times 2m plus 5 equals 6m plus 5. Number 2. Here is a biased 4-sided spinner. The table gives the probabilities that when the spinner is spun once, it will land on 1 or it will land on 3. The probability that the spinner will land on 2 is equal to the probability that the spinner will land on 4. Ravina is going to spin the spinner a number of times. Ravina works out an estimate for the number of times the spinner will land on 3 is 45. Work out an estimate for the number of times the spinner will land on 4. To find an estimate for the number of times the spinner will land on 4, we need to find the probability of 4 and the number of times. The probability of 4, it's given to you that the probability of 2 equals the probability of 4, and we know that the sum of all probabilities equals 1. So if the probability of 4 x, so the probability of 2 equals x. So now if we add all, we get 1. So 2x plus 0.26 plus 0.18 equals 1. Then we can solve for x. So x equals 1 minus 0.26 minus 0.18 divided by 2 equals 0.28. Now to find the number of the total times, it's given to you that an estimate for the number of times of the spinner will land on 3 equals 45. So to find the estimate of number of times will land on 3, you have to multiply the probability of 3 multiplied by the total number to get 45. So 0.18 times the total number equals 45. So to find the total number, 45 divide 0.18 equals 250 times. Now we can find an estimate for the number of times the spinner will land on 4 by multiplying the probability of 4, which is 0.28, times the total number, which is 250, equals 70 times. Number 3a, find the highest common factor HCF of 56 and 84. Show you're working clearly. You can find HCF using prime factors. So factorize 56 divide by 2 equals 28, divide by 2 equals 14, divide by 2 7, and 7 divided by itself equal 1. Same for 84, divide by 2 42, divide by 2 21, 21 divide by 3 7, 7 divided by itself equal 1. So 56 equals 2 power 3 times 7, and 84 equals 2 power 2 times 3 times 7. HCF takes the common factor to the least power. We have 2 power 2 and 2 power 3, so 2 power 2. We have 7 common, 7 power 1 and 7 power 1. Take any one of them, so times 7. But 3 not common, we cannot include 3. So 2 power 2 times 7 equals 28. B. Find the lowest common multiple LCM of 60 and 72. Same, we can factorize. 72, divide by 2, 36, divide by 2, 18, divide by 2, 9, divide by 3, 3, divide by 3, 1. For 60, divide by 2, 30, divide by 2, 15. 15 is not divisible by 2, so divide by 3, 5, divide by 5, 1. So 72 equals 2 power 3 times 3 power 2. 60 equals 2 power 2 times 3 power 1 times 5. LCM take all the factors, and if the factor common, take the greatest power. So 2 power 2 and 2 power 3, so take 2 power 3. 3 power 1 and 3 power 2, so 3 power 2. And we have 5, so take 5. Multiply them, it's gonna be 360. So the LCM 360. Number 4. The diagram shows parts of 3 regular polygons A, B, and C meeting at a point. Polygon B has n sides. Work out the value of n. We have full term, so 7x plus 3x plus 8x equal 360. 7x plus 3x plus 8x equal 360. So 18x equal 360. Divide by 18, so x equals 20. Now we can find each angle. We can find angle at polygon B. So 7x equals 7 times 20 equals 140 degrees. Now we have the interior angle of polygon B. We need to find the number of sides for polygon B. If you have the interior, you can find the exterior. So the exterior angle equals 180 minus 140 equals 40 degrees. Now if you have the exterior, you can find the number of sides. 360, the sum of all exteriors, divide each exterior, which is 40, equals 9, so 9 sides. 5a, expand and simplify n minus 6 times n plus 4. N minus 6 times n plus 4. N times n equal n squared. N times 4, 4n. Negative 6 times n, negative 6n. Negative 6 times 4, negative 24. Combine the like terms. So n squared, 4 minus 6, negative 2. So negative 2n minus 24. N squared minus 2n minus 24. B. Solve 2x minus 3 equal 3x minus 5 over 4. Cross multiply. So 4 times 2x minus 3 equal 1 times 3x minus 5. Expand. 4 times 2x, 8x. 4 times negative 3, negative 12. equal 3x minus 5. Now transpose 3x to the other side, so 8x minus 3x, and transpose negative 12 to the other side by positive, so 12 minus 5. So 5x equals 7, divide by 5, divide by 5. So x equal 7 over 5, or 1.4. Number 6. Asha bought an apartment. The table gives information about the value of the apartments in euros and the annual service charge band. In 2021, the value of Asha's apartment was 634,400 euros. The value of Asha's apartment had increased by 4% from its value in 2020. Has the annual service charge band changed from Asha's apartment? Show your working clearly. In 2021, after increase 4%, the value of the apartment 634,400. So from the table, this service charge band B. So before the increase, we can find before the increase. So it was 100, increased by 4, now 104. After the increase, 634,400. So before the increase, cross multiply to find the answer. So 634,400 times 100 divide by 104 equals 610,000. Now from the table, 610,000 between 600,000 and 700,000. So the service charge band B. So before and after still B, so no change for surface charge band. BAM bought a boat. In each year after BAM bought the boat, the value of the boat depreciated by 15%. Work out the total percentage by which the value of the boat had depreciated by the end of the second year after BAM bought the boat. Depreciated by 15% each year, and we need to find the value by the end of the second year. For exponential decay, we have rule that the new value equals the old one into 1 minus, in this case, 15 over 100 power 2, because after 2 years. We can consider that the old value 100, because we need to find the change in percent. So the new value 100 into 1 minus 15 over 100 power 2 equals 72.25. Now to find the percentage decrease, so 100 minus 72.25 equals 27.75. Number 7. A cylinder is placed on the ground. The height of the cylinder is 18 centimeters. The force exerted by the cylinder on the ground is 72 Newton. The pressure on the ground due to the cylinder is 1.4 Newton per centimeter square. Work out the volume of the cylinder. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. To find the volume of the cylinder by r squared, which is the area of base, times the height. Area of base by r squared times the height, which is 18. Now we need to find the area of the base. We can find the area from pressure and force. To find the area, switch pressure with area. So the area equals force over pressure. So equals 72 divide 1.4 equals 51.4 centimeter square, to 3 significant figure. Now the volume of the cylinder equals pi r square, the area 51.4 times the height, which is 18, equals 925 centimeter cube to 3 significant figures. Number 8a, write 0.000089 in standard form. So move the decimal point till this number between 1 and 10. So 8.9 times 10 power. We have 5 digits between the old decimal point and the new one. So times 10 power negative 5. B, write 8.34 times 10 power 4 as an ordinary number. So the decimal point, move the decimal point 4 places to the right, so 2 places and 2 zeros. So 8, 3, 4, 2 zeros. 83,400. 9a, simplify. 8 times 4t power 0. 4t all power 0 equal 1. So 8 times 1 equals 8. B, x power 6 divide x power negative 5 equal x power b. Find the value of b. When we divide, subtract the power. So 6 minus negative 5. This means 6 plus 5. So x power 11 equals x power b. So b equals 11. Now C, simplify fully. 2k squared m power 4 all power 3. Distribute the power. So 2 power 3, k power 2, all power 3, m power 4, all power 3, 2 power 3 equals 8, k power 2, all power 3, k power 6, m power 4, all power 3, m power 12, multiply the power if you have more than one power. Number 10, two circles C1 and C2 are drawn on a centimeter grid with a scale 1 centimeter for 1 unit on each axis. The center of circle C1 is the point with coordinates -1, 3 and the radius of C1 is 13 centimeter. The center of C2 is the point with coordinates 7 and 18 and radius of C2 is 6 centimeter. Work out the distance between center of C1 and center of C2. To find the distance between the centers, you can use the distance formula. So C1, C2 equals square root 7 minus -1 squared plus 18 minus 3 squared equals 17 centimeter. B, explain why circle C1 intersects circle C2. If we add the radius for circle C1, R1, plus the radius of the circle C2, which is R2, so 13 plus 6 equals 19 centimeter. So the sum of the radii is 19 centimeter, but the distance between their centers equals 17 centimeter. So the distance between their centers less than R1 plus R2. So circle C1 intersects circle C2. Number 11a, factorize 9x squared minus 4y squared. No common factor, 2 terms, difference between 2 squares. So 2 brackets. Square root of 9x squared, 3x, square root of 4y squared, 2y, and 2y, plus, minus. This is how to factorize difference between 2 squares. Now B, express 7 over 8 minus x over 3 over 4x as a single fraction in its simplest form. To subtract or add two algebraic fraction, you can multiply the denominator. So 8 times 4x equals 32x. Then cross multiply to find the numerator. So 7 times 4x minus 8 times x plus 3. Now simplify the numerator. 7 times 4x is 28x. Negative 8 times x, negative 8x. Negative 8 times positive 3, negative 24 over 32x. In the numerator, 28x minus 8x, so 20x minus 24 over 32x. To simplify, we have 20 and 24, 32 divisible by 4, so we can divide by 4. Divide by 4. So 20x divided by 4, 5x. 24 divided by 4 equals 6. 32 divided by 4, so 8, so 8x. 12. Rodolphe goes to the gym. The probability that he will use the treadmill is 0.8. When he uses the treadmill, the probability that he will use the cross trainer is 0.3. When he does not use the treadmill, the probability that he will use the cross trainer is 0.6. Complete the probability tree diagram for this information. So the probability to use treadmill 0.8. So does not use the treadmill 0.2. The probability if he use the treadmill, so use this branch, the probability that he will use the cross trainer is 0.3, so 0.3. So that one, 0.7. When he does not use the treadmill, the probability that he will use the cross trainer is 0.6. So this 0.6 is branch 0.6. So now you can deduce that this branch 0.4. B. Work out the probability that Rodolphe uses both treadmill and the cross trainer. Take this branch, use treadmill and use a cross trainer. So 0.8 multiply 0.3. 0.8 times 0.3 equals 0.24. 13. Antoine is going on holiday. He makes 3 separate payments to cover the total cost of his holiday. The following table shows how much money Antoine pays to the holiday company. Payment 1, 3 over 8 of the total cost. Payment 2, 45% of the total cost. Payment 3, $406. Work out how much Antoine has to pay for payment 2. We need to find the total cost. To find the total cost, 3 over 8, we can convert 3 over 8 to percent. Then we can deduce the percentage of payment 3. So for payment 1, to find the percentage for payment 1 from the total cost, 3 over 8 times 100 equals 37.5. So for payment 1, 37.5%. And payment 2, 45%. So for payment 3 equals 100% minus 45% plus 37.5% equals 17.5%. When you subtract, forget the percent, just subtract 100 minus 45 minus 37.5, you get 17.5. So this means payment 3, 17.5%. Now you can find the total cost. 17.5% equivalent to $406. So 100%, which is the total cost, equivalent to what? So cross multiply to find the total cost. So the total cost equals 100 times 406 divided by 17.5 equals $2,320. Now to find payment 2, 45% of, so multiply 2,320. equals $1,044. Number 14, the function f is defined as f function from x to 2x over x minus 6 and x doesn't equal 6. Find f10. To find f10, this is the function, so put x equal 10. So 2 times 10 over 10 minus 6, so 20 divided 4 equals 5. B, express the inverse function f negative 1 in the form f negative 1 function from x to what? So to find the inverse function, you can write y equals 2x over x minus 6. Now make x as the subject. First cross multiply. So y times x minus 6 equals 2x. Expand, so yx minus 6y equals 2x. Put x in one side. So transpose 2x to the other side and negative 6y to the right hand side. So 6y equals yx minus 2x. Now take x common, so y minus 2, x times y minus 2 equals 6y. So x equals 6y over y minus 2. Now switch between x and y, so the inverse equals 6x over x minus 2. This is the same like f negative 1 function from x to 6x over x minus 2. Abraham is going to play a computer game. Abraham can win the game, draw the game, or lose the game. For any game that Abraham plays, the probability that he wins the game 0.3, the probability that he draws the game 0.5, the probability that he loses the game 0.2. When Abraham wins the game, he scores 10 points. When Abraham draws the game, he scores 0 points. When Abraham loses a game, he scores minus 5 points. Abraham plays 3 games, and the points he scores in each of the 3 games are added together to get his total score. Work out the probability that when he has played 3 games, his total score is 0 points. The score will be 0 if he draws in all games. In all games, the score will be 0. So the probability to draw 0.5, so 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5. This is the first case. The second case, for the score to be 0, he wins 1 game, so the score 10 points, then loses 2, so minus 5 minus 5, so the score will be 0. So wins 1 and loses 2. So the probability to win 0.3, so 0.3, and the probability to lose 0.2, so times 0.2 times 0.2. But because the order does matter, so he can win the first or the second or the third, so multiply by 3. Now add them. The answer will be 0.161. 16. Without using a calculator, show that 12 over square root 2 minus 1 minus square root 2 power 5 equals 2 square root 32 plus 12. First, we can rationalize this part. Make the denominator rational by multiplying the denominator and the numerator by square root 2 plus 1, the conjugate of the denominator. So 12 over square root 2 minus 1 multiply by square root 2 plus 1, for the numerator and the denominator. When you multiply the denominators, when you multiply two conjugate numbers, square of the first minus square of the second. So square of square root 2, which is 2, minus square of 1, which is 1, so 2 minus 1. For the numerator, 12 times square root 2, so 12 square root 2. And 12 times 1 equals 12. The denominator equal 1, so you can write the fraction as 12 square root 2 plus 12. Now for square root 2 power 5, square root 2 power 5 equals square root 2 times square root 2 times square root 2 5 times. Square root 2 times square root 2 equals 2, and same 2 times square root 2. 2 times 2, 4, so this equivalent to 4 square root 2. Now the left hand side can be written as 12 square root 2 plus 12 minus 4 square root of 2. 12 square root 2 minus 4 square root 2 equals 8 square root 2 plus 12. Now right hand side we have square root 32. Square root 32 can be written as square root 16 times 2. Square root 16 equals 4, so 4 square root 2. Now the right hand side equals 2 square root 32, which is 4 square root 2 plus 12 equals 8 square root 2 plus 12. So now we have the left hand side equals the right hand side. 17. A particle B moves along a straight line. The fixed point O lies on the line. The displacement of B from O at time t second, t more than or equal 1, is s meters, where s equals 4t squared plus 125 over t. The velocity of B at time t seconds and t more than or equal 1 is v. Work out the distance of B from O at the instant when v equals 0. So we need to find v and equate by 0. To find t, then substitute in s to find the distance. Now to find expression for the velocity, find the derivative for the displacement. S equals 4t squared, and 125 over t can be written 125t power negative 1. So ds over dt, which is the velocity, equals 2 times 4, 8, so 8t, negative 1 times 125, so minus 125 t power negative 2. Can be written as 8t minus 125 over t squared. Now equate the velocity by 0 to find the time. So 8t equals 125 over t power 2. Cross multiply. So 8t power 3 equals 125. So t power 3 equals 125 over 8. To find t, cubic root of 125 over 8 equals 2.5. Now to find the distance at this instant, so substitute by t equal 2.5 in s. So the distance equals 4 2.5 times 2.5 squared plus 125 over 2.5 equals 75 meter. Number 18. Here is a triangle ABC. Work out the value of x. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. In this triangle, we have 2 sides and the included angle. Then using cosine rule, we can find AC. After we find AC, then we can find x using sine rule. 9.7 over sine x equals AC over sine 150. So we need to find AC first using cosine rule. So AC equals square root 9.7 squared plus 12.3 squared minus 2 times 9.7 times 12.3 cosine of 150 equals 18.6 meter to 3 significant figures. Now this 18.6. Now use sine rule to find x. So 18.6 over sine 115 equals 9.7 over sine x. 9.7 over sine x. Now to find x, cross multiply sine inverse, cross multiply 9.7 sine 115 divide 18.6, 9.7 sine 115 divide 18.6, then shift sign to find the angle itself, equals 28.2 to 1 decimal place, or to 3 significant figures. Number 19, OAB is a sector S of a circle with center O and radius R plus 7. Angle AOB equals 45. A circle C has radius R minus 2 meters. The area of sector S is twice the area of circle C. Find the value of R. Show your working clearly. First, area of sector S equals angle over 360 times by R squared. So 45 over 360 times by the radius square, so R plus 7 squared is so equal twice the area of the circle C. So twice, this means 2. Area of circle C, radius R minus 2, so by times R minus 2 squared. Now you can cancel by with by, and you can simplify 45 over 360 by your calculator, so this 1 over 8, and expand R plus 7 all squared, so R squared, R times R, R squared, 2 times 7 times R, so 14R, and 7 times 7, 49, equals 2. Expand R minus 2 squared, so R times R, R squared, and 2 times R times negative 2, so negative 4R plus 4, because negative 2 times negative 2. Now 8, go to the other side, multiply, so you are left with R squared plus 14R plus 49 equals 16 into R squared minus 4R plus 4. So R squared plus 14R plus 49 equals 16R squared. 16 times negative 4, so negative 64R, and 16 times 4 equals 64. Now transpose R squared and 14R and 49 to the other side by negative. So you are left with 15R squared, because 16 minus 1, and negative 64 minus 14 equals negative 78r, and 64 minus 49 equals 15, so plus 15 equals 0. We can divide this equation by 3 to cancel the common factor, so 5r squared minus 26r plus 5 equals 0. You can solve use factorization or use your calculator. Now if you use your calculator to find the answer, mode 5 3 and enter A and B and C, you get two values for r. R equals 5 and r equals 1 over 5. So to make the bracket, so r minus 5, this is the first bracket, and 5r minus 1, the second bracket, to write the working. Now r equals 1 over 5 rejected, because if you substitute in r minus 2, this will be negative, so this is rejected. So now the solution r equals 5. 20. The diagram shows a sketch of part of the curve with equation y equal fx. There is one maximum point on the curve. The coordinates for the maximum point are s and t. Find in terms of s and t the coordinates of the maximum point on the curve with equation y equals fx minus 2. If you substitute x by x minus 2, this horizontal translation, 2 units to the right, so the point x and y will be x plus 2 and y. So the point s and t, add 2 for s, so s plus 2 and y will be the same. Now for the equation y equal 3 times fx, this vertical stretch by scale factor 3, so the point x and y will be x and 3y. So if you apply this rule for s and t, so s will be the same and multiply t by 3, so s and 3t. 21. The histogram shows information about the total time, m minutes, taken by each child in a school to walk to school every day for 1 week. There are no children for whom m more than 100. There are 10 children for whom m less than or equal 20. Work out an estimate for the number of children for whom m more than 50 and less than or equal 80. Between 50 and 80. To find the scale of y-axis, you have 10 children if m less than or equal 20. So the area for this rectangle equals 10. Now the area equal base times height. So 20 times the height equals 10. So you can find the height, 10, the area, divide by the base, which is 20, equals 0.5. So this height 0.5. This means each square represents 0.5. So now you can deduce the scale. So 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, and 5. Now we need to find an estimate for the number of children if m more than 50 and less than or equal 80. More than 50, so this 50 between 40 and 60. So 50. And less than or equal 80, so this is 80. So we need to find the area of this region. To find the area for this region, we can divide this area into 3 rectangles and we can find the area of each one of them. For the first rectangle, the base from 50 to 60, so 10 times 2.9, so 10 times 2.9, so 29. 10 times 2.9. For the second rectangle, the base from 60 till 75, and the height 3.2. So 15 times 3.2 plus, for the last rectangle, from 75 to 80, we have 5. 5 times 2, the height 2. So 5 times 2. Now find the number. The number equals 87. 22. A solid is made from a cone and a hemisphere. The circular plane face of the hemisphere coincides with the circular base of the cone. The radius of the hemisphere and the radius of the circular base of the cone are both 20 centimeters. The curved surface area of the cone is 580 pi. The volume of the solid is K pi. Work out the exact value for K. The curved surface area of the cone is pi RL. L is the slant height. So we can find the slant height. Pi RL, so pi times 20 times L equals 580 pi. We can cancel pi with pi. So L, the slant height, equals 580 divided by 20 equals 29 centimeters. Now we have the slant height 29 centimeters. So we can find the height of the cone, because we need that when we find the volume of the solid. The height of the cone from Pythagoras theorem is 29 squared minus 20 squared equals 21 centimeters. So the height 21 centimeters. Now the volume of the solid equals the volume of the hemisphere plus the volume of the cone. The volume of the hemisphere, the volume of the sphere, 4 over 3. So the volume of the hemisphere is 2 over 3 by r power 3. So pi times 20 power 3. This is the volume of the hemisphere. Plus the volume of the cone, 1 over 3 by r squared, so 20 squared, times the height, which is 21, equals 24,400 over 3 pi. So K equals 24,400 over 3. 23. A polygon has n sides where n more than 5. When arranged in order of size, starting with the largest number, the sizes of the interior angles of the polygon in degrees are in terms of an arithmetic sequence. Here are the first 5 terms of this sequence: 177, 175, 173, 171, 169. Find the value of n. Show clear algebraic working. From the interior angles, the first 5 interior angles, we can find the first 5 exterior angles, because interior plus exterior equals 180. So the first exterior will be 3, 180 minus 177, and 5, 7, 9, 11, and so on. We have arithmetic sequence. The first term 3, so a equal 3, and the common difference 2, because each time we add 2, and the sum of the exterior angles for any polygon equal 360, so SN equals 360. Now SN equals n over 2 into 2a, so 2 times 3, plus n minus 1 into d, so times 2, equals 360. So we can solve for n. So n over 2 into 6 plus 2 times n equals 2n. 2 times negative 1, negative 2 equals 360. You can transpose 2 to the other side, multiply. Now you are left with n into 6 minus 2 is 4, so 4 plus 2n equals 720. N times 4 equals 4n, and n times 2n equals 2n squared equals 720. Now we can transpose 720 to the other side and arrange. So you have 2n squared plus 4n minus 720 equals 0. You can divide by 2, so n squared plus 2n minus 360 equals 0. You can factorize n minus 18 and n plus 20, or you can use calculator to find the answer. So we have n equals 18 or n equals negative 20, negative rejected. Number of sides cannot be negative, so n equals 18. 24. Express each of A, B, and C in terms of Q, so that Q plus 12x minus qx squared can be written as A minus B into x minus c all squared. Arrange the quadratic in descending order, so you can write negative qx squared plus 12x plus q. Now take the coefficient of x squared common, so negative q bracket negative qx squared divided by negative q, so x squared, 12 divided by negative q, so negative 12 over qx, now plus q outside. Now we can convert this to vertex form using completing square, so we can write this bracket as, don't forget negative q first, bracket square minus number square. In this bracket we have x squared, so write x. Have the coefficient of x, have 12 over q, negative 12 over q, have 12 6, so negative 6 over q, and write 6 over q all squared outside plus q. Now expand negative q times the bracket, so negative q into x minus 6 over q all squared, and negative q times negative 6 over q squared equals, negative times negative will be positive, q times 6 squared, so 36 q over q squared plus q. We can simplify more, so negative q into x minus 6 over q all squared, and for this q can be removed with the power, so this q cancelled with the power, so 36 over q plus q. We can simplify more, so this is over 1, multiply the denominator, so q times 1 equals q, and 36 times 1 plus q times q, so 36 plus q squared. We can rewrite as 36 plus q squared over q minus q into x minus 6 over q all squared. So A equal 36 plus q squared over q, and B equal q, and C equals 6 over q.